Welcome, DES race fans, as we have another special broadcast tonight. We are doing another all-female race. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, our third one. Tonight I got in the booth with me, I got Jeff Dinda, I got Jonathan Medlin, and of course, Damon O'Brien on the controls for the broadcast. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great. And you are right. This is our third one.
Doing well, cannot complain. Ready for some great racing action from these ladies.
Man, it is already starting off to a good one. We do have we can go through our quick starting lineup. I'm sorry if I butcher these names at all. Grace Holloway racing in lieu of Mark Holloway, starting on the pole position. To the outside, you got Bree Knoll racing for Craig Knoll. In row number 2, that name may not be on our list, but she is racing for Jamie Howell. And right behind her, you got John Dottle, April Dottle, racing for John Dottle. And then you got Mimi Long in that 23 machine back there. And Hunter Cox's wife. Not for sure what her name is, but she is going to be starting from the rear of the field. We do have a couple cars that are going to be starting off from the pits as they get a little bit of damage repaired, but here we go, green.
And those guys are coming out of pits. Let's see how we do now.
As everybody gets up to speed, looks like Grace Holloway got a pretty good jump there. Bree Knoll on the outside of that 98 machine, trying to work the high line as nobody behind for assistance. That inside line is going to continue to prevail.
Yeah, Daytona. If you don't have help on a line, it's just going to fizzle out, and you're going to have to drop in line, as we just saw Bree Knoll have to do.
Pretty good first lap out here. Looks like that 98 is going to look high. It has some backing from behind. A little loose there off turn number 3 as we get ironed out. Everybody's getting up to speed.
Earlier this afternoon, I was talking with Hunter Cox, and he was actually trying to talk his wife into running this race, and it sounded like she didn't want to, but I see that he managed to talk her into running it, so I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's awesome to be able to throw on races like these, right, and get family members of guys that regularly run this season, get them involved. I mean, it's cool to see it. I mean, especially it's just a different aspect, right? I mean, all the guys that are racing are now, riding in the back seat, coaching, their wife, their daughter, significant other, whoever it may be that's driving behind the wheel of their car.
Absolutely. During the second one, I had my sister-in-law sitting in here in my rig running, and tried to get her to do it again, and she was a little apprehensive. She said, "I'm not that good at it," and I said, "Well, neither am I, but I still do it." But it's fun to get to try to coach them and share what you've learned running the tracks and put it to a perspective of being the spotter for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of a little bit of foreshadowing, we do have a 30-lap race. These gals are going to have unlimited fast repairs. So if they do get any damage, all they got to do is take it down the pit road, and they will immediately get that damage repaired, as well as unlimited sets of tires should they decide that they need a fresh new set of sneakers.
It looks like April Dottle getting a little loose coming through the turns, but has settled it out and settled back down in that groove, in the bottom groove.
And just want to mention, we had 2 drivers that started from the pits. They're doing a pretty good job there getting up to speed. So, we still have everybody on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. 43, Hunter Cox's wife, currently a little bit out of the draft, trying to reel it back down. I'm kind of curious to see if the 82 and the 32 are going to be able to link up and start getting some momentum to catching back up to that field. Oh, 43, a little squirrely there on the exit of turn number 4. Able to get it stabilized, still on the track with no issues. He stays with it.
And I would just like to point out, they're doing a better job than the guys have been doing in these exhibition races.
Especially for Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, everybody talks about Daytona. You know, you always hear the big one, and these guys have got it pretty ironed out. I mean, for the most part, single file. Grace Holloway still in the lead, running for Mark Holloway in that 56 machine.
Dowdle trying to take the high line, but again, as we alluded to earlier, no help there, and having to try to find a way to settle back down into that bottom groove and get back in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the hardest things that you have to learn here on these super speedways, that you're not really out there by yourself. You know, one driver is not going to make or break this race. It's how you work together, right? How you make friends out on the track, or enemies if that's your thing, you know. But making friends out there on the track to try to move your momentum forward, right? Help me, help you.
And I'm just going to jump in here. Hunter Cox, 43 car. His wife's name is Lexi.
Thank you for that information, Jeff. Always helpful when we have our pit road correspondent getting information like that for us.
A little bit of a break up here in this top group. Looks like the 23 of Mimi Long, 63 of Bree Knoll. Go back a couple of hard lengths as Dowdle is currently trying to look to the outside, but no assistance out there.
You know, at this point, some of these women have raced 3 times in these trucks. So we have a couple of ringers out here tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are doing a phenomenal job trying to maneuver this. We're trying to get something together, a little bit of swerve in there, able to corral it with no incidents. 64 now looking to the high line. Got the 23 behind, and 23 is going to go back to the inside.
You know, we talk a lot about the league racing, but with iRacing, you know, you do have officials and you have things like draft masters, which run in Daytona and Talladega, super speedway running, learning how to do the draft. That's the purpose for it. Of course, we all call it crash masters, but it's actually a really good tool to teach you how to fall into a pack with, you know, 2 or 3 other racers, run a draft and pick up momentum and move in on the pack and make passes together and work together as a team.
Yeah, you know, one thing I wanted to kind of emphasize, so remember how I talked about this, you know, Daytona, Talladega, tracks like that, those super speedways being a more of a team track, right? Help me, help you. So last time by, Mimi Long ran a 50.579. If you look at those cars that do not have any draft, the 43 of Lexi Cock, the 82, and the 32, all running 51.6s. So about over a second difference between having the draft and not having the draft.
And April Dowdle getting loose there, getting into the wall a couple of times and scrubbing off a lot of speed.
And we do have our first caution of the evening. 64 of April Dottle getting a little squirrely there, clipping that right front on the wall. Got a decent amount of right front damage. This is going to allow everybody to kind of stack and re-rack. Oh, we got another spinner, the 68 right now. Ooh, 23 Mimi Long involved. Because we got a little too slow there on the high lane, lost the momentum.
Yeah, and the 56 was also caught up just before that happened.
And with all of that shakeup, that's going to put the number 63 machine in the P1 position.
Correct. You're going to have the 56 of Grace Holloway, 63 of Bree Knoll will be in second position.
And that's going to be that iRacing telling them to pass and get sorted out. So yeah, I called that out a little bit too soon.
Well, welcome back after that quick break, getting everything ironed out. 63 free going out in the lead. Off to a good start. The 56 of Holloway following Mimi Long. 82 having a little bit of trouble getting up to speed there. Ooh, contact. Car around. 2 cars around.
It looks like it's going to be the 32 of Geist and also the 82 of Akers.
Quite some interesting racing up here. You know, everybody pretty much went in, took their fast repairs, got the damage repaired. So we're back on out here. We just did hit our halfway mark, so we have 15 laps to go. As these guys are going to line back up and restart. And welcome back after that quick intermission. We are going back to green. 63 of Bree Knoll in the lead, gets a nice jump. Holloway's going to fall into second with Dottle in third.
And Dottle with a good push on Holloway to get down on that bottom line and fall in behind Bree Knoll.
Now, something interesting, we do have quite a bit of separation throughout the field. I think this is going to fall down to who's going to be able to group up enough to where they can use the momentum to get speed.
And it looks like we've got a small pack forming that second little group there if they can get together and work together. And Dottle going to try to take the high line and get around Holloway, but the pack speed's just going to carry a little bit too much with no help on that top line. She's going to have to fall back to that bottom line.
She's trying to make it work and staying on that right rear quarter panel of the 56. I don't think the momentum's going to go there unless that 98 goes up top with her.
Second pack. Oh, we saved it.
A little bit of rubbing back there, but all good.
You know what they say, rubbing is racing.
This first pack is really starting to line up really well. That's going to help their speed. The second pack's going to have to get formed if they want to maintain with the first pack.
They're going to have to get a little bit tighter and work together to push up there to that first pack.
Ooh, the 82 of Savannah Acres, a little loose there through the triangle, able to save it. However, that's going to push her back from the cars in front. '23 of Mimi Long going for a pass on Lexi Cox in that 43. Mimi's looking to the high side, a little squirrely into the wall, able to corral it, no contact.
Dottle and Holloway working together to get around Bree Knoll, and they get into first, second, and now Dottle going to try to work that high line again to get around Holloway.
I don't think that's going to work as well because there is no help on that outside lane as these three cars are now starting to break away a little bit.
Using the side draft and the momentum coming off that higher bank angle to carry a little momentum might be able to get fully clear.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty funny because most of us in here race in all the other series that we run. So it's funny to think about, you know, just these guys that are out there coaching, you know, their significant other or whatnot, and what kind of advice that they're giving them as they go through this. Of Dottle falls back into line. That's going to put our front for all single file. 43 of Lexi Cox running back there in fifth. 23 of Mimi Long is pulling up right behind her. They're able to close that gap so they can start working together.
Lexi hitting the apron there, scrubbing off a little speed, and that allowing Long to go ahead and finish clearing that pass and get down in front of her.
As we are now 23 laps complete, that's going to put us right at about 7 laps to go. As these guys have got to start figuring it out how to work together if they want to start making and completing these passes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two that have it figured out and are working together really good is the front two, Mark Holloway and Holloway and Dottle are working really well together.
That's Grace and April up front.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For those of you that are in the YouTube comments, let's see if we can get some favorites to win the race. We have quite a few people in here. So let's see if you guys can pick out your favorites or who you think is going to select to win this race.
I gotta say, one of these comments says they don't listen and talk too much.
The sleeper 7.
And you know,
That would be Jamie sneaking in there in the sleeper.
I don't think it's the fact that they talk too much, and the reason they don't listen is because they tone us out.
We got Mark Holloway plus another fan in there saying, Grace is my pick to win. Let's go, Grace. Well, lucky for you, Grace in that 56 machine currently up front with a pretty commanding lead. She led it on the first, I'd say, into 15 laps. Still up there leading.
So we got a spin in the back.
Looks like the 43 of Lexi Cox involved in this one. Some pretty significant left front damage. We got Jennifer in here rooting for Grace. Craig Knoll saying, I think you know who my pick is, Bree Knoll, and that 63 machine and that Sour Patch Kids paint scheme.
Hunter Cox saying, my wife is scared but looks so cute doing this.
And we got Jacob Akers saying 82's coming back to get this dub. And that very bright pink 82 machine currently running in the 7th place position. As we are completing lap 26 under caution, we're going to step away to a quick break and we will be right back. And welcome back after that quick break. We are extended for a green, white, checkered. That means we're going to go around right here, take the green flag. If they make it all the way around the next time, we will get the white flag. Once the white flag is out, the race will finish under green. If there is a yellow in between that green flag and the white flag, we will line them up and try again. We do have 2 attempts here at green, white, checkered restarts. So it's all going to come down to who can get the best start and work together. This is your last chance in the comments to lock up those predictions on who we think is going to take the 3rd DES all-female race. Lights on the pace car are off as it's going to pull down right here onto the pit road. 56 of Holloway going to lead us to the green flag with April Dottle on the outside. Nice bump from Mimi Long there to get that outside line rolling. Let's see if they can keep that momentum.
And it looks like Holloway is going to get a great jump there. And Dottle's going to fall back in behind Howell in 3rd. Now, can they work together and try to get that high line? Dottle's been trying to work that high line all night. Let's see if they can get that done now, because Howell trying to go that high line as well to make the pass on Holloway.
98 of Howell's going to have a big run here. Let's see if she's able to capitalize on it. 56 of Holloway staying true to that bottom line. Let's see if this gap is closing as our top 4 have now closed. Second pack breaking off right behind. The 64 of April Dottle trying to show the 98 that, hey, I want to go high. 56 of Holloway staying low. A little squirrely there off turn number 4. Contact with the wall for Dottle. Able to keep it straight. And in the wall, however, the white flag is out. We will finish the race under green. 23.98 bumping doors side by side. This is going to allow the 56 to pull off to a bit of a gap and to reckon behind.
Getting a little bit of side draft going there between the 56, the 23 and the 98, and that can create a little bit of dirty air for them. But looks like Long trying to make that high side work and is making it work. But as we come into the curve, it's going to be 98 staying true to that bottom line and carrying the momentum there.
Right here out of turn number 4 for the final time. Big contact with the 98. 98 able to corral. That's going to give the 23 the position. 56 to the line. Ooh, almost a little contact there. 56 of Grace Holloway, your race winner. And I would like to thank you all for coming around to watch the DES 3rd race. If we can get this camera transferred over to the 56, doing her victory burnout over here on the start-finish line. Grace Holloway, your race winner. And to recap it, the 23 of Mimi Long coming in 2nd, 98 of Howell in 3rd, the 63 of Bree Knoll in 4th. And then we have the 82 of Savannah Akers in 5th. The 32 of Dakota in 6th. You got Lexi Cox running in 7th. And April Dottle in 8th place position. What a race here, guys. I appreciate y'all joining me up here in the booth, Jeff and Jonathan. And until next time, oh, by the way, our regular season is kicking off next week. We have the ARCA series, which is currently halfway through their season, starting on Wednesdays. We got an IndyCar, same boat on Thursdays. Our next gen series kicking off Friday at Daytona, Saturday, both contender and premier trucks. kicking off at Daytona, and then our O'Reilly Auto Parts series on Sunday. So if you're interested in any of those, feel free to hop in the Discord and join us if you want to come on track, or hit up the YouTube, drop a like, follow, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.